2 years later, I got out of prison early because of positive rehabilitation and good behavior. The first thing I did when I got out was to call Z Lily. But it was her mother who answered the phone. After her mom found out it was me, she scolded me. She said I wasn't a man, that I let my girlfriend trade her body for her freedom, and that I deserved to be sentenced. Z's mom told me to get the hell out of there and didn't want to see me again. That's when I realized what was happening outside while I was inside. Z Lily lost her body to Lian Qintao in order to beg him, but Lian Qintao lied to her. Unwilling to be humiliated, she tried to find Lian Qintao to argue, but she was kicked out by the security guards, and ended up crossing the road in a trance, and was hit by a speeding dump truck, killing her. I had no way of knowing this while I was in prison, and the lawyer was instructed by Lian Qintao not to tell me. I hung up on Z's mom and became furious, trying to find Lian Qintao, but finding it impossible to get to him. The moment I was kicked out by the security guards, I knew that if I wanted revenge, I had to endure it. Go on, I said to the man. Z Lily is dead, and you've been sentenced. Lian Qintao thought it was over. He had done so many things that hurt the world that this was probably nothing to him. However, the so-called heaven's way of reincarnation is not unrewarded. The time has not yet come. Get to the point. Who hired you? Z Lily's father. That's right. He's the only one. The man said that Z Lily was kicked out of Lian Qintao's place that day and became suicidal. She even wrote a suicide note and put it on her mobile phone, ready to send it to me and her parents. But before she could send it, she was killed in a car crash. Later, Z Lily's parents got the mobile phone from her belongings and saw her suicide note. No wonder I was scolded by Z's mother when I called Z Lily when I was released from prison. Although Z Lily's parents still have some contacts in their hometown, they are in Kunming and have no relatives. And there is no evidence of this kind of thing. Want to take revenge is even more impossible to say. In addition, Lian Qintao has a reputation in Kunming, rich and powerful, not afraid of an old couple. Then how did they find you? I asked. A month ago, an elder from my hometown called me. I don't know where he got my number or how they learnt what I do for a living. It's true that I'm a no-good assassin, but I only take business in Southeast Asia. You know, it's impossible to do that in a domestic setting like this. I nodded. This elder told me that a former friend of his has a revenge to avenge. And on the basis of being from the same hometown, he hoped. This elder told me the ins and outs, and I learnt your name. I Googled and found out that you are a famous blogger. Not only are you a famous blogger, but you are also a shareholder of a well-known outdoor brand. I thought about it for a long time and thought it could be a good idea. The price they offered me was $500,000, and they said they had already chosen a time and place, so I just needed to recognize the person and do it. Since Lian Qintao is dead, they must have paid you. Why are they still blackmailing me? He shook his head. What do you mean? The man shrugged his shoulders and said, I didn't kill Lian Qintao. You didn't. I saw Lian Qintao fall to the ground in the crowd, his carotid artery slashed, blood shooting out like a fountain. It couldn't have been a fake. Because he was a famous local tycoon, the news of his death was published in newspapers and TV news, and no one knew about it. If it wasn't the man in front of me, then who could it be? It really wasn't me. Seeing my difficulty in understanding, he said, I did take this job, preparing to kill Lian Qintao. The Z family's instructions to me were to kill the man, get the token, cut off Lian Qintao's little finger, and pay on sight. This place is very close to the border, so I can leave immediately after taking the money and never come back. But when I arrived at the scene, I only saw Lian Qintao planted in the crowd, with the artery in his neck sliced open, but the person who did it wasn't me. Unbelievable. The situation he described was surprisingly exactly the same as mine. I saw you behind Lian Qintao at that time, your eyes cold. You hooked something into your sleeve, and with my years of experience, it was definitely a murder weapon. So I thought you must have killed Lian Qintao. I also know that Lian Qintao is a person who usually rarely shows his face. So it was a completely inevitable coincidence that we chose the same day to strike. I suddenly realized that this was why he was blackmailing me. If an assassin completes his mission and the target he kills is a celebrity with a big name in the society, why doesn't he quickly turn in his work and take the money to disappear? Because he didn't complete the mission at all. He nodded, as if he knew what I was thinking. The target did die, but it wasn't him who moved. He couldn't get the token, and thus couldn't get the money from the Z family. So, if he didn't want to go empty, blackmailing me, a rich outdoor brand blogger, was indeed a solution that wasn't an option. Only, he didn't think that Lian Qintao's death, but also not my hand. I asked him what bank to use. He gave me a Malaysian bank account. I immediately transferred 100,000 ringgit to him and asked him to confirm the arrival. He said thank you and got up to leave. I watched his skinny back disappear into the night with only one thought in my mind. Who the hell killed Lian Qintao? I don't know how I got home. My head was a muddle. The TV was on, and I changed channels aimlessly. The people that Lian Qintao and I knew in common appeared in my mind like a walking light, but I could never think of who it could be. I took out the small half bottle of white wine left in the fridge and drank it in one gulp. I fell asleep half an hour later. When I woke up the next day, it was already 7 in the morning. And the morning news was playing on the TV that had been on all night. The police announced the results of their investigation this morning into the death of Lian Qintao, a well-known businessman that occurred 3 days ago in this city. The place of the incident was the construction site of a renovation project in a suburb of the city. And on that day, the deceased was invited to participate in the opening ceremony of the project. During the ceremony, the deceased walked with the crowd towards the foundation stone laying place, and then suffered a cut on his neck and died of blood loss. After investigation, in order to grab the progress, the construction company in the ceremony at the same time to start construction. Driving into the site of the construction vehicle speed, will be a sharp stone on the ground, hit the deceased in the neck, resulting in the accidental death. The police have found the stone embedded in the neck of the deceased. Forensic experts restore the whole process of the accident. The deceased Lian Chin Tao is a well-known local businessman, living ... I gradually couldn't hear the latter, but the words of Lian Qintao kept echoing in my ears. Old Zhang, you are my brother ...